Hello, let's go over the energy credits. Hi, I am Juliana and I'm an enrolled agent living in Texas. I have a background at the IRS as well as a master's in taxation. I like to go over some of my experiences that I've had at the IRS as well as things you may encounter either in tax or with the IRS. If any of that interests you, then come along. Today I wanted to go over some energy credits. I don't know if I'll cover everything today, but I wanted to start specifically with solar energy credits. This is a very popular thing as people update their homes and start to move to solar energy. A lot of people like to go through third-party companies to purchase solar panels, and this is a very, very common thing to do. So oftentimes, and I know that there's different structures that you can set up. Oftentimes people purchase panels and then they make payments on them, and then they either have reduced electricity or they can sell it back sometimes. Sometimes they have free electricity, but they're still going to be making monthly payments to the third-party company. So it's up to you to figure out your finances. Is this worth it? Is this actually going to reduce your bill every month, or will it increase? Is this worth it long term? Do you plan on staying in the house? That's up to you. But as far as the tax side goes, this can help you. This does not give you back dollar for dollar what you put into it. So let's use some real numbers. Let's say you spend $60,000 on solar panels and you have an agreement for that. So you have paperwork so that you can prove to the IRS that you purchased these. Great. So this credit currently is for about 30%. And so you would get approximately $20,000. That's about 30. It's not actually 30. So don't come at me. You would get about $20,000 as a credit. This does not come to you dollar for dollar. Okay. You can put it on your tax return, but you may or may not be able to apply the whole thing in that year. Only you and your tax preparer are the ones who know your tax situation. So your salesman, he does not know. So he cannot promise you anything. This credit is a non-refundable credit. So all it does is offset your tax. I have a nifty little paper to kind of show you the basics. Start out, it's backwards, of course, because of the camera. But you have your income on your tax return, right? After that, you take some deductions, and then you have your taxable income. Great. After that, you calculate your tax. From the tax, you can have sometimes certain credits to offset that tax. Okay? There are refundable credits, but that you have $10,000 of tax, but a $20,000 credit, you will only be able to apply in that year up to $10,000 to offset that. The IRS will not just hand you the extra $10,000, but they say you don't have to pay in that first $10,000, that was the tax. After that, you're applying any payments you've already made in. Okay, so if you had withholding, if you made estimated payments, then that's great. Then, if you already put in $5,000 in payments, you can have a refund of $5,000 because you are now paying zero tax. That credit offset everything you would have owed. Okay, so if you got a $60,000 solar panel purchase in 2023, you may get, in this scenario, $5,000 of a refund. Okay, any leftover, that extra $10,000, will get carried over to the next year, where if you have any tax, then you may be able to offset it in that year. And everyone's situation is different. You may or may not be able to offset your tax. You may not be able to apply it. I don't know. It may apply to part of your tax or all of your tax you may still owe, but at a much smaller amount. These credits are excellent at offsetting your tax, but they come with the big price tag at times. So you have to be the one to figure out, based on your situation, what is your incentive? Are you trying to do it to actually save energy? Are you trying to do it for the tax write-off? What are you trying to do? If you're only trying to do it for the tax purposes, you need to actually look at your tax situation and see if this will benefit you. I wanted to just try and give you some of the basics so you could think it through and consider, if this is something that's good for you. There are other energy credits available. There's certain hot water heaters, windows, vehicles that may apply, that you may qualify for, and they are all also non-refundable credits, so they will be applied in a similar manner. Keep in mind about this solar energy credit specifically is that it was slated to sunset and kind of reduce in percentage every year until it was gone, and they just increased it and extended it out to 2034. So somewhere around 2034, Congress will either renew it and extend it for longer, or they are going to let it die. So if you have long-term plans, kind of keep that in mind. You might have a timeline.